Early years. It was a rainy morning of Friday, June 11, 1974 at precisely 9:00 a.m. when a baby girl with cute and delicate little cheeks was laid in her mother's arms by one of the nurses at St. John's Hospital. The young mother, who had just turned 20, cuddled her second child and first baby girl lovingly, while saying all those sweet things every mother wishes for their little girl. One could clearly tell that the bond between mother and baby was very solid, and a young nurse who had been on the delivery team could not help wishing out aloud to one day having a baby girl herself, much to the amusement of Professor Nadin, whose tireless efforts and expertise in obstetrics and gynecology had helped bring Nandi safely into the world. Anna Nandi, for that's what her mother Nellie called her, was born in the absence of her father, who was on a long business trip upcountry. At 29, Larry was a tall, strongly built man with a light complexion, thanks to his great-grandparents who had immigrated from southeast Ethiopia and soft facial features. He and Nellie had met at a get-together party organized by Nellie's big brother Andrew, who was a business associate of Larry. Nellie, then 18, had just finished her secretarial course at Lucum Business Institute on George Street and was working with her brother's company Skyward Tours and Travels on Conrad Tower, Turner Avenue. It was love at first sight, and after 3 months of characteristic accidental meetings, there was no more time to waste. Larry had to make his move. So one Saturday, after a visit to Nellie's parents' home, Larry made his proposal on the usual bended knee, and, you guessed it, Nellie delightedly accepted. 4 months later, they wedded, much to the joy of parents and relatives on both sides. Though Larry and Nellie loved and cared deeply for each other, Larry was always on the move. Nevertheless, he made a commitment to be with his family every fortnight except the time when his daughter was born. Reason being the rescheduling of a business meeting from June 8 to June 10, which had made it impossible for him to travel to his wife's bedside in time. It was because of Larry's constant traveling that little Nandi and her brother saw less and less of their father until Nandi was 6 years old. This is her story. I started school at the tender age of 3 at a highly ranked kindergarten known as McKinnon. At the time, my brother Sydney was attending another pre-primary school. Every evening after work, Nellie, my mother, would pick Sydney and me up from our respective school childminders and then head home. One Friday evening, after retouching her makeup and getting ready to close the office, the sudden ringing of the telephone startled Nellie. She wondered who would be calling after 5:30 p.m., then decided not to answer it. But the persistent ringing of the phone made her think that whoever was calling knew she was still at work. Nellie picked up the phone. "Hello, Skyward 2. "Nellie, meet me in the lobby of Lucum Hospital quickly." Nellie instantly recognized her husband's voice. Something in his tone told her that whatever it was that had happened was serious. Picking up her handbag, she raced out of the office, locking the door behind her, and even though she rarely used the elevator due to a slight phobia, this time she rode down and drove straight to Lucum Hospital. Nellie saw Larry at the far side of the lobby, standing at the window with his back slightly turned towards her. He looked very tired and worried. It was his mother. She'd had another heart attack, only that this time it was very severe. Back at my school, it was 7:00 p.m., and my mum, who normally picked me up by 6:30 p.m. latest, was nowhere to be seen. Worse still, she'd not even called to say she'd be running late. As most of the teachers, including the head teacher, had left, the teacher on duty, who doubly acted as childminder after normal school hours, asked if I wished to join my brother at his school. "Yes, I want to go to Sydney's school," I replied excitedly. Though previously unhappy with my mum's failure to pick me up early, I knew this would give me ample time to tour my brother's school, this time thoroughly before my mum picked both Sydney and me up. The move by my teacher would later cause heart attacks to both my parents. At 9:00 p.m. in the intensive care unit, my grandmother's condition stabilized, which prompted the doctor in charge to assure my parents that Granny would be out the following day. Leaving my Aunt Sarah to look after Grandma, my dad and Mum decided it was time to pick us up from school. It was approaching midnight when they arrived at McKinnon Kindergarten, although under normal circumstances it would have been Sydney to be picked up first.